My name is Erica Lorraine Spencer, and I remain subject to state surveillance and terrorism by the state of California that is operating a malicious targeting system, which is referred to as federal group stalking and monitoring via communication devices. And it is in violation of federal stalking statute 18 U.S.C. sections 2261A subsections 1 and 2. My website and podcast serve the public good by publishing evidence of the public entity's ceaseless engagement in a pattern of conduct intended to stalk and monitor via communication devices, surveil, harass, and terrorize an American citizen in concert with the people of the state of California. Documentation serves the lawful purposes of wide exposure, federal prosecution, and influencing federal legislation with policies specifically designed to punish, dismantle, and disincentivize an unprecedented targeting system by a public entity that acts in concert with the people of the state in order to criminally place under surveillance and terrorize an American citizen, which is a matter of public corruption in the state of California.
Erica Lorraine Spencer here. The following is an audio version of video evidence that is captured for purposes of mass distribution, which is why I am capturing it and sharing it on the podcast for evidentiary purposes and also to reveal the wealth of documentation that extends beyond what it is that I document on podcasts. Much of the video and images will be published onto the YouTube channel, the P.O.C, and it is also shared on the Google Drive. Again, this is for purposes of revealing what I remain subject to, which is federal group stalking and monitoring. It is a demonic system of state surveillance that the government is practicing in concert with the people of the state. And it should be known and well understood that for the government to engage in federal group stalking and monitoring, this is a crime that is committed with a criminal purpose to threaten the life of an American citizen. This is to conspire to murder and or permanently kidnap an American citizen while engaging in a perpetual sex offense in concert with the people of the state. Currently 5:52 p.m. It's March 11, 2025. This is documentation just speaking to malice of the entity that is engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring. It is speaking to impunity of the entity that's continuously engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring during the process of exposure and prosecution via documentation, which is informing things such as sentencing of the entity that is going to prison and going to mental asylums and being removed from public office and losing the ability to operate a company such as AVANATH Capital Management, et cetera, and that is shown through the specific environment, the environment that defies nature, and as I speak to and expose that, which is coloring the character of the conduct of the entity that is engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring. It's speaking to the impunity of the entity that is still acting in furtherance of committing murder and kidnapping, and in maintaining the means of psychological torture and harassment and terrorism as an entity. So again, this video that you see at the top is on the internet, available for you to view now. I published it already. And this is captured on what is March 11th, 2024. And this is documentation relevant to what is time of year, time of day, and literally the same day. It's as I go from day to day, which you can take that sort of vantage point with regard to prosecuting the state of California that is operating a satanic system of targeting. And you are also able to use time of year. And so that's speaking to everything that's happening in what is December, end of November, December, January, February, and March. Is time of year analysis. And then you're understanding what I maintain detailed notations regarding, because you are going to understand how daylight savings time is absolutely irrelevant when you are aware of what is a fake sun that is idle and its placement over me, and what you will also know is a fake sun necessarily because there's only one sun, and then you are aware of what is the revolutionary information that there is necessarily an environment that defies nature. And it is indeed supernatural, and it is where I am subject to a criminal pattern of conduct, and I'm not the first person to be subject to this pattern of conduct. I am the first person that exposed it, that proved it, and is also prosecuting it, and I'm speaking to those who have already lost their lives to it. that are right now have lost their liberty. They're sitting around kidnapped right now. And that's the significance of the supernatural environment where the demon possessed are not only engaging in what is practicing witchcraft, but they are witnessing their real-time exposure. And with that, which is also informing how the demon possessed are going to be prosecuted, with that, the entity is still engaging in what is continuously engaging in that targeting system. And that's just going toward the impunity of the domestic terrorists in this country, literally, while the demonic environment surrounds me. And so that's what I want to point to. What you'll see today earlier, I intentionally took images of it because it is the pattern of conduct nonetheless. This is the condition of the environment. It's a cloudy day. I'm showing you this. It's a cloudy day as I captured it today, March 11th, 2025. This is speaking to the same exact pattern of conduct that was underway on the same day in 2024, where the pattern of conduct is underway around me in Los Angeles. As I show you the supernatural environment, you are looking at what is now you're informed. This is not the seasons, the natural operation of the environment. There is a system where we are conditioned with regard to how the environment operates and whatnot. And this is satanic in every regard, including the way in which the specific environment is manipulated, as I am documenting on an ongoing basis. And it's speaking to a pattern of conduct that's ceaseless. So where the fake sun is covered up or where the fake sun is shining in all of its brilliance right over my head for the duration of the day, the entity is going to federal prison at Woodside Senior Apartments and the employees of AVANATH Capital Management. And as I document the fake sun beginning to shine at any hour, like it did during the 5 p.m. hour, not coincidentally, okay, but intentionally with regard to, again, the short-sightedness of the demon-possessed who are going to prison and mental asylums. I documented on 5:21 p.m. on this day, the fake sun is remaining as I'm walking around Alvarado Gardens apartments at 5:21 p.m., which is the last video I captured on this day, showing you the fake sun, which is under no circumstances going to be 8 minutes, 7 minutes later, shining through the patio glass door of Tracy Banks's facilitating venue, where the federal government knows exactly who she is and the criminal system that she's engaging in and who she's engaging in it against. Okay. But this is, again, the pattern of conduct at 5:30 p.m., where you can see the shadow. This is impossible light activity, the shadow of the metal shelf that's on the patio outside on the opposite side of the patio. So this is an upright shadow appearing on the opposite side of the patio along the patio glass. So that's speaking to the trajectory of light, by the way. And it's also not light that's the product of the sun being in any position in Los Angeles at 5:21 p.m., like I captured in the video above that we'll view, and then creating what is the shadow of such patio furniture that's so concentrated, that's so powerful. It's in perfect alignment with Tracy Banks's apartment at the same time, because you have 5:21 and what is 9 minutes later at 5:30, and you already know that this is where on the bottom, Woodside Senior Apartments in Ontario, this is where the fake sun is rising and setting. So this is speaking to the P.O.C. And at 5:30, this is when the entity is keeping the engineer light coating the patio glass door. This is also psychological torture. There's no sun in Los Angeles as you break it down logically, scientifically, okay, with regard to comparing to how the natural environment operates. And it's also relevant to what is the evidence that I have published on the internet. It's also speaking to mental illness, okay? The mentally ill who are gang stalking and whose pattern of conduct, which is recognized in that environment that defies nature. It's a scientific phenomenon. And with regard to the impunity and malice that is exhibited while the fake sun begins, remember, this has nothing to do with the fake sun itself, but using what is the illusion that the demon possessed are relying on, that the fake sun is in a position 10 hours after it's rising over the same apartment, that it's in any position 9 minutes after I'm capturing it on video on the same day in 2024 at 5:21 p.m. to create any sort of sunlight, showing the pattern of the living room window on the east living room wall, and also creating the upright shadow of the patio furniture on the opposite side of the patio, and creating what is sunlight underneath the covered patio. So this is sunlight that would be reaching, as you see the object itself, remaining in perfect alignment to me, because this is also what you know about the condition. The entity always has the fake sun in alignment to me when you're looking at this engineered light, because that's the only explanation that the demon possessed have, because you were never supposed to scrutinize and use your brain and apply any common sense that extends, which will be equal to that of which a fifth grader can exercise, knowing that the sun is not going to sit over one apartment at any time of the day, even when it is cloudy at the beginning of the day and you have what is the perfect alignment of a still enduring light source. at the end of the day. There is no hour where the demon possessed can pace around with this fake sun and this engineer light, and it's anything other than the P.O.C. And as I documented that, by virtue of the engineer light appearing on the patio glass door, it's documentation of impunity. And I want to be clear before I review this video, these are the people that are going to prison at AVANATH. AVANATH Capital Management's Woodside Senior Apartments at 408 West G Street in Ontario. And it's everybody residing in units 33 through 64. They're all going to prison while they are gang stalking me, which the evidence of the fake sun and the engineered light documentation shows. And the entire venue, what has 144 units, is being prosecuted for federal group stalking and monitoring and for stalking under the Violence Against Women Act while at this HUD-regulated property. It is also for those like Linda Reyes who are under any circumstances employed by AVANATH Capital Management at the venue of Woodside Senior Apartments, where federal group stalking and monitoring, harassment, terrorism, and psychological torture as an entity is ceaselessly underway, which is a perpetual sex offense committed by a public entity that is keeping me under surveillance. In doing so, with regard to the interference with quiet enjoyment, as that engineer light appears on that patio glass door, it shall be prosecuted as a criminal interference with quiet enjoyment in the same way that amplified ongoing noise is a means in doing so. So I wanted to capture this video just regarding the ongoing impunity and malice exhibited through the specific environment at 5:30 p.m. where it becomes abruptly bright. The living room apartment becomes illuminated with impossible light activity. This is a terrorizing threat. It is also psychologically harmful. It is also being committed against the American citizen that is myself, who was documenting. So this is the entity that is targeting someone who knows very well the ways in which they're being targeted. That's speaking to damages intentionally inflicted. That's speaking to impunity with regard to prison, with regard to the punishment of the entity that is gang stalking. This is the state of California engaged in domestic terrorism, all right, and terrorizing an American citizen that is not ignorant about the ways in which they're being targeted by that state government. All right. And so this is what was happening at 5:21 p.m. on this day in 2024.
Sounding helicopter activity while this is a third-party group stalker threatening my life. This is engineer light all over the ground. He's going to federal prison. 8TJV 601, who is not an American citizen. He's apartment number 1802-2. That's a threat.
I just want to point that out. He is driving in engineered light that's appearing in the shade. It's a pattern of conduct of the demon-possessed who are intentionally in that supernatural environment and creating activity all around you to keep you under surveillance. And this is engineered light that's covering the patio glass door, and neither are the product of sunlight. Okay?
Threat while the entity sounds helicopter activity while the group stalker is standing in my path in the environment. He's going to federal prison. He'll be shipped out of this country as well. This is impossible light in the shade. How is that happening? Oh, is that sun that's hitting the window and then it's at a distance appearing on the ground while helicopter activity is sounding? Oh, all of 18-1802 want to get out of this country. She's the same apartment, 18022. Maridiega, Delia, Maridiega. P.O. That's P.O.C. And there's LAPD. Hold on. There's LAPD. And what is this the entity engages in? And retaliation to its own demise as it listens to me speak the truth about it. They are a bunch of inferior demon-possessed minions who are surrounded by a body of evidence which they can in no way defend, and nobody's going to speak for them in federal court. And those two are going to be deported. They will go to federal prison first, though. This is P.O.C. and the light source is moving as I move, by the way. P.O.C., that was apartment 1802-2. She walks out and he drives in. Demonic pacing in concert with LAPD. And I want you to see this illuminated light appearing. This is the demonic objective, to hit surfaces with light. Where is this coming from? Pray tell. All right, this is demonic. Entirely demonic. And impossible light. So this demon from apartment 1802 walks out, and the other demon from apartment 1802 drives in. Okay, these are the Delias of apartment 1802-2. They're not welcome in this country. They will be handled. They're going to federal prison, and they'll also be deported. Okay, minions that the demon possessed that are out here monitoring and group stalking American citizens. You're not even from this country. No, you don't belong here, and you're not welcome. It's currently, and that is the entity acting on behalf. Acting via LAPD, who's going to be a removed police department. They are, and also 1802-2, acting on behalf of the entity, the same impunity that you see unfit mothers like Tiffany Sherez, okay? That's the entity engaging in that. That's P.O.C, acting on behalf of a whole entity.
All right, not only are you aware of what is the pattern of conduct, as you could see yesterday at around the same time, the fake sun is stationary, so a cloudy day on the next day does not delete the record. We've already captured the sunrise at this venue as well. This is just speaking to the entity that is monitoring evidence. The evidence is under no circumstances removing what is the pattern of conduct from the record. Okay, this is speaking to impunity, in other words, as the entity is being documented engaging in what is a statewide system. But I also want to just go ahead and show on this day, the entity not only has the fake sun rising over me, but which I'm going to show you at 8 o'clock in the morning. And you're always mindful about what I already documented. The entity has the fake sun both rising and setting in alignment to me. And as the documentation continuously progresses, as I remained in Los Angeles, you will find what I begin capturing is this fake sun in alignment to me inside of my bedroom window. And this is where the documentation just gets more and more demonic, meaning impossible to reconcile with nature. The more desperate, that desperation of the demon possessed is literally commensurate with the demonic environment that defies nature. Okay, it's how you are understanding the desperation, the obsession of the demon possessed that are gang stalking. Okay, by the power of Satan, demon possessed people that are monitoring and stalking as a population. So on this day in 2000, so this is the fake sun that's in alignment to me at 5:21 p.m. There's no sun that's going to cause any sort of sunlight and on the ceiling, on the living room wall, inside of the. I just want you to see causing the pattern of the living room window on the wall. This living room window is appearing in the pattern on the engineered light on the east living room wall. The same light activity that's present when it's cloudy outside and you're looking at it on the inside of the apartment. Okay. This is the no fake sun is shining. 337 capturing the environment. This has nothing to do with the fake sun. It's not sunlight. And it's there on both a quote unquote sunny day and on a cloudy day. It is also not the product while I am capturing the fake sun that even yesterday, March 10th, 2025 at 5:17 p.m., where I'm capturing again, that would be 5:21 p.m. today in 2024. This is where the entity kept the fake sun. This is what I was documenting at the same time. 5:15 p.m. on March 11th, 5:15 on March 10th is the pattern of conduct where you're understanding the fake sun. Okay. So nonetheless, I'm going to go ahead and show you what was the enduring placement of that fake sun in alignment to me inside of my apartment. As you can see, I'm up in the morning and I'm capturing impossible light activity inside of my apartment. I'm going to show you one of these videos, however, and this is just documentation speaking to the pattern of conduct that Woodside Senior Apartments is engaging in, which is stalking as a population living at a apartment complex, and the entire apartment complex is going to be prosecuted. And as I'm documenting today, the fake sun that is remaining, which they just hand over this evidence on an ongoing basis. Maintaining it cloudy every on today does not remove them from the documentation. You're still gang stalking. It's already known, as I am subject to terrorism and criminal interference with quiet enjoyment through impossible light activity at the tail end of the day at 5:31 p.m. Not coincidentally, after again I'm documenting on this day after 5:27 p.m. the P.O.C. This is the inept who are incapable, but it's not the prosecution of the state that's demon possessed and gang stalking American citizens. Is not going to be based on the state's ability to understand how this documentation, how this evidence works against them, but it will show the impunity that the state government maintains about why you and how you shall not be keeping American citizens under surveillance, psychologically torturing them and terrorizing them while they blow the whistle on you. Because you're aware of all this while the engineer light and the fake sun begins shining at 5:30 p.m. through this apartment that I remain. The same apartment where I've already documented the sunrise at this time of year as well. Okay, but let's just get a video where you can see the light object itself. Because in the video at 8:07 a.m., you're free to look at this whole playlist. It's published on the YouTube channel, the P.O.C., regarding what I documented on this day. And it is evidence that is, again, in the aggregate. I may not get up and capture the sunrise on the 12th or on the 10th or even on the 11th because the sunrise occurs before 8 o'clock. Okay, you have what is the evidence in its aggregate, because the sunrise that I captured, for example, if I did capture it on the 10th, it still applies, because the sunrise at 7 o'clock in the morning, you have what is the enduring maintenance of the fake sun at the same address at what is 9 o'clock in the morning, what is 10, 11, 11 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm documenting what is the enduring maintenance of the necessarily fake sun where that apartment complex is shown to be gang stalking me. And they're doing so not as just a cult that lives at that apartment complex. It is the government. It's the state of California. And that's what LAPD is doing, as I documented on video. And LAPD is exhibiting demon possession. They suffer from the same condition as is demon possessed in San Bernardino County and in Orange County and in Kern County, like I documented in Riverside County. The pattern of conduct which you are able to recognize through the specific environment. And it is demonic what the entity is doing. So I'm going to show you this video of the sun maintaining perfect alignment with me inside of my apartment in my living room at the same exact apartment complex. And we can count 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. That is 9 hours later. The fake sun is still in alignment to me at that apartment complex where LAPD is gang stalking, terrorizing, and psychologically torturing me in conformity to the pattern of conduct in concert with its demon-possessed co-defendant, the people of the state at Alvarado Gardens. And this is where the entity is maintaining the specific environment in the same exact manner in Ontario, California at Woodside Senior Apartments.
That's P.O.C. And that's an ongoing molestation, and this is the invasion of what is engineered light, keeping me under surveillance inside of the private space. And it's 8:16 a.m. at Alvarado Street. Just to confirm, just so that you can literally see it, these are indeed closed blinds. And this is a light source that's in alignment to my apartment, no different than what I've already documented. It is again 8:16 a.m. This is inside of 1806 North Alvarado Street, apartment number 6 on the 3rd floor. You're looking at a hovering light source that's in alignment to a 3-story building and shooting light like a laser horizontally through those closed blinds into the depths of the apartment. That's supposed to be the illusion of sunlight. It's an implausible and unpersuasive and an impossible one because sunlight does not do that, and also it would be obstructed in through closed blinds if it was normal sunlight. In addition to that, it's impossible where the sun is remaining over, just one example, 706 North Holt Boulevard, 706 Holt Boulevard in Ontario. That's the Starbucks at San Antonio and Holt in Ontario. You cannot see this while I'm standing at Starbucks in Ontario, California, which is hovering at the same time over everyone in Los Angeles. These are the people of the state that are in relevant position group stalking in Los Angeles. No, you cannot see the same thing in the parking lot through the windows of Starbucks as you are looking outside of my living room window in Los Angeles. This is the light source, and this is the pattern of conduct in the same way that this is not what is hovering over Country Village Apartments. As I arrived there, capturing the light source rising in alignment to me, the light source rising in alignment over the pool at Economy Inn at 2301 South Euclid Avenue. This is the pattern of conduct, and also you know it's the pattern of conduct because this light source remains for the duration of the day, and it will move to be in alignment with my office adjacent to building 1810 for the same exact impossible duration, not the operation of the natural environment where it's remaining adjacent to that building, which is in alignment to me for an excess of 6 hours, maintaining the presence of that light source, which is pursuant to the pattern of conduct. Under no circumstances is it the natural environment. The unnatural environment is present because a criminal system that is operated in some quote-unquote secret society, that secret society is the state of California and the people of the state. And it's federal group stalking and monitoring, and that's why. That's the why as to the unnatural environment. The what is you're literally looking at it, and you're looking at the duration of time, and you're also understanding these fallacies of daylight savings time. Daylight savings time is centered around the operation of the natural environment. The sun, give or take an hour, is never stagnant, stationary at one address, which is what I continue to show. It's P.O.C.
Alrighty. That is the pattern of conduct it is currently. I just wanted to document with regard to the environment as I remain subject to it inside of this unit, and the pattern of conduct is underway whether it is a cloudy day when you are aware of the specific environment, and you are also informed that this is not the natural environment. This is not the coincidental creation of what is a cloudy day. The entity is also aware of what happened. What did I document? Because I'm documenting and exposing it, so you will have what is the entity that is always behind me. Satan can never get ahead of me, but you're aware of the tactics, aware of the documentation that's already published, and the weather in this town is also, like what happened today, contingent upon what it is that I might have documented or been exposing on the same day, even as Satan is literally following me, okay, stalking with regard to what I'm exposing about it. But there is no getting ahead of what it is I've already exposed about them. And the entity is caught up in the P.O.C. and there is no getting out of that pattern. And what does that mean? That the federal government knows what the states are doing to American citizens and the environment that they're doing it in. And you also know that it defies nature. It is satanic in its entirety. And this is speaking to malice through and through. And there is no cloudy day, therefore, that will ever remove the fact that the pattern of conduct remains underway. And as I document the suddenly, abruptly sunny conditions inside of this apartment, which is speaking to the fake sun that has to be in some sort of position defying nature, and doing so not only at that time but at any point in the day, because the sun could never be over Woodside Senior Apartments under any circumstances. This is the specific environment. It's serving for criminal surveillance, and we are out of that illusion. So I just want to make sure I capture video to that. And it's 6:14 p.m. now 6:15 p.m. on March 11, 2025. This is P.O.C.